plays a vital role in oneself. Sometimes they mold us to be the person they think and want we must be. As a girl, they say we must do household chores, play Barbie dolls, and even wear dresses. As a man, they say he must be the one who do carpentry, who do work, and even wear pants and shirts. Sometimes, as I look at myself, I wonder who I really am. My heart says I am not what my parents told me I must be. I can be both. I can do both, and I am not less for being who I am behind this mask. One day, a woman removed her mask. She knows what she wants for herself. She cut her hair short, removed her lipstick, headbands, and even dress. She knows she is an opposite of who her parents expected her to be. She went out of her room. She decided to walk towards the living room. She saw her parents. They scolded her. They hurt her. They don't even want her to be part of their family. They pushed her to be the person dictated by her sex. She stands strict, wipe her tears, and finally say, "This is me. The place where I should be feel safe, accepted, and protected is here in our home." But why? I realized family should be the one who educate us about gender and equality. The one who will open our minds to the possibility of being a man and a woman. The one who will make us ready to face the world of discrimination. But why? Sometimes, a home is where you are scared to unmask yourself. Family must be the first one to accept, to give you love, to respect, and give you awareness. But sometimes, they are the one who discriminate us. Family must be a place where you can be who you are without judgment. A home must be a place to unmask yourself when the world is too harsh on you. They influence us to have the mindset to accept both sexes and to be aware of how they struggle with it. We must have a mind who are open with all the possibilities, so that as we face the society, we know and we can tell that we are one, we are united. As a family, we start to believe in oneself. We start to believe in one's capability, and we must start to accept that we can be both, we can do both, and we are not less of who we really are behind this mess. That's why family must build a home of acceptance, of awareness, and a home without judgment for everyone to live a happy and peaceful life.
Workplace has always been a place full of gender discrimination. In fact, women were not welcome to enter any kind of workplace until the 1960s. Back then, women, especially white women, are only expected to stay in their house and do household chores, and that only. This kind of mindset may be minimized now, but it is still relevant and it still exists. Now that women are welcome in the workplace, that does not mean that they don't face any gender discrimination anymore. Based on statistics, men are most likely to be hired than women, mostly because they think that women are less capable than men. Even if women are employed, they still faces too many gender discrimination inside the workplace. First is the sexual harassment. Sexual harassment toward women inside the workplace has always been a big problem for many women. Lastly is the unequal pay for doing the exact same work. Women are being paid for less than men for doing the exact same work. This happens in every country and every type of job. There are countries who pay women exactly 50% less than men for doing the exact same work. This is the most popular issue about gender discrimination in work. Well,
We believe that education for all is a fundamental human right, regardless of gender, race, ethnic origin, family background, or personal group. But sadly, in school, discrimination and gender inequality has been experienced. Schools are through which children learn about the social expectations, attitudes, and behaviors typically associated with boys and girls. It is a formal institution set up for the purpose of socialization and cultural transmission. So, school as gender socialization agent is not only to transmit culture but somehow assign specific role differentiation to the coming generations. So, some of specific role differentiation, discrimination, and stereotyping inside the school. Isa na dito yung, halimbawa, sewing or yung pananahe para sa mga babae. Yung boys, para sa kanila is grafting, and then yung short hair para lang sa boys, long hair naman para sa mga babae. Tapos yung earrings is for girls only, and sa paglilinis naman sa classroom, ang mga babae, binibigay sa kanila yung role ng pagwawalis, kung saan maano lang, yung magaan lang yung trabaho. Tapos sa mga lalaki naman is yung mga pagbubot ng upuan, pagbubunot, ng sahig, which is yung parang mas mabigat na trabaho. Tapos naniniwala din sila na boys are better at mathematics than girls, and they expect from girls to be more polite, modest, while the boys are expected to be more oblivious. Dahil dun sa mga natutunan ng mga estudyante o yung mga nagiging paniniwala nila tungkol sa gender o sa parang specific role ng babae at lalaki. Dahil dun, nagkakaroon ng hindi magandang resulta, which is yung pagkakaroon ng bullying inside the school or the gender-based bullying or violence. So, to end this stereotyping and gender inequality inside the school, the United Nations Global Education Monitoring Report in 2017 has a theme of gender equality through school, providing a safe and inclusive learning environment where boys and girls must feel welcome in a safe and secure learning environment. So, who is responsible for ensuring gender equality in school? So, sino nga ba? So, sabi dito, government, schools, teachers, and students all have part to play in ensuring that schools are free of violence and discrimination and provide a gender-sensitive, good quality education. So, to achieve this, first, gender equality in education requires unbiased curricula and textbooks. To facilitate gender-responsive instruction, curricula and textbooks should be free from gender bias and promote equality in gender relations. How students perceive themselves and how they project their role in society is shaped to some extent by what they experience at school, including by how they are represented in textbooks. The textbook should consider its quality of content, presentation, the language used, and specific provincial coverage. So, yung pangalawa naman is, teacher education can help address underlying gender biases. Aside from the influence of official curricula at ng textbooks, teacher practice in the classroom is partly shaped by their assumptions and stereotypes about gender, which in turn affects students' beliefs and learning. Teachers should be regularly trained to be more gender sensitive and gender neutral and should provide unbiased instruction. Teacher education or trainings regarding gender equality enhance their knowledge, attitudes, and practices related to gender equality promotions and conflict resolutions. So, yung pangatlo, para ma-promote yung gender equality inside the school is the gender-sensitive school facilities. The adequate facilities shall be constructed for male and female students, such as the comfort rooms that are well managed and maintained and functional. Tapos yung pang-apat is schools are really responsible for addressing school-related violence and providing comprehensive health education. School-related violence is a pervasive issue in some countries, lalong-lalo na din dito sa Pilipinas. Violence can be physical, psychological, or sexual, and it can occur in school grounds, in cyberspace, and it may include bullying, corporal punishment, verbal and emotional abuse, intimidation, sexual harassment and assault, gang activity, and the presence of weapons among the students. It is often perpetrated as a result of gender norms and stereotypes. So, kailangan natin malaman na dito sa Pilipinas, 1 in 2 Filipino children have witnessed violence or abuse in their schools. At according to the Department of Education, 1,700 cases of child abuse for the years of 2013 and 2014. So, para masolusyonan yung bullying dito sa school, para masigurado yung safety ng mga estudyante, Philippines implemented their Public Act number 10627, known as the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013, that requires all schools to adopt policies to prevent and address acts of bullying. It explicitly refers to gender-based bullying, which is described as any act that humiliates or excludes a person on the basis of perceived or actual sexual orientation and gender identity. Lastly, we, as students, must behave in a non-violent and inclusive way. We should also be aware and responsible in promoting a gender-friendly school environment. We should always love, accept, and respect each other because at the end of the day, we are all equal in the eyes and heart of our Lord. Thank you.
The media plays a big role in shaping our minds on how we perceive things. The main purposes of different media platforms, such as the internet, television, radio, newspapers, and magazines, are to inform, educate, and entertain people. But somehow, different media platforms unknowingly put up standards for both men and women. Some examples include the sexual objectification of women and portraying them as the weaker sex.
Only one real lucky Code 45 drinker gets a weekend getaway with Christine Reyes in the Code 45 Baba Broom Real Man promo.
The media also affects our perception of beauty.
Girl, it's makeover time. Try this. Wow. Meet your new best friend, Black and White. Unlock the power of nature with up to 3 times more whitening actives and sun protection. For naturally whiter skin, it's truly a beautiful new you. New Black and White. Start something.
This has to stop.
But the greatest love story of all time is summed up in these 25 verses of 25 words that someone has called a miniature Bible, the gospel in a nutshell. For God. Do you ever stop and think about God? Many people are thinking about God today.
As the most influential organization in the world that can influence one's perspective in different things such as belief, culture, and how they saw gender roles in a way that should be applicable and appropriate and acceptable to church point of view. The Catholic Church that teaches that all humanity is equal, as all humanity was created in the image and likeness of God. No one sex or race is above or superior to one another.
What's so powerful about our faith is the deep and faith-filled awareness we have of God's goodness, that God is infinitely good, and that anything He gives must be for our good and for the good of the whole human family.
Open our eyes and mind that in God's point of view, for God show no partiality. Romans 2 verse 11. Let the church as the healing ground for all of us. Healing ground in which we all are equally healed. Healing and accepting that we are no longer in an era that men are dominant than girls. Let us live with joy in our heart that we as a human being with borrowed life in our God should respect and understand each other, are equal to each other, and we should respect each other at all costs, at all time, and in all aspects of life. Terminate the wrong perspective. Live with the will of God to be upright. Live in the path where all of us have the equal opportunity regarding of gender and regarding of status. Let's live with respect and mutual understanding that we are not church guide us as they are the messenger of God's message. Let us follow the will of God. Let's eliminate the inequality that happens to us. The racism happens to everyone. Let's stop the stereotype. Let's stop the old tradition which discriminate others. One of us are equal to one another. Equal in different aspects of life. Because we are God's children. Let's stop inequality. Let's stop hate. Let's stop discrimination. Be one of us. Be the one who should respect others. Because in God's eye, we share the same amount of love, care. We share all the things in this world. We should live in an equal society in all aspects of life.
Dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.